We've got longevity completely backwards, while everyone's chasing happiness and positive vibes. The people who actually live the longest are doing something totally different. I spent months studying Blue Zone's research, and here's what blew my mind. The happiest cultures aren't the longest lived ones. In fact, our obsession with happiness might be killing us faster. The real secret isn't about feeling good all the time. It's simpler, more practical, and backed by decades of research on centenarians. Today, I'll show you why chasing happiness shortens your lifespan and reveal what the world's longest-lived people focus on instead. Here's where our culture went wrong. We've been sold this idea that happiness equals health, that positive emotions are the key to longevity. But research shows the opposite is true. When you make happiness your primary goal, you actually create more stress and anxiety in your life. Think about it. How many times have you felt guilty for not being happy enough? How often do you scroll through social media, seeing everyone's highlight reels, and wonder what's wrong with you for not feeling constant joy? This pressure to be happy all the time is exhausting, and it's literally shortening our lives. The hedonic treadmill effect proves this point perfectly. When we chase momentary pleasures and positive emotions, we need more and more stimulation to feel satisfied. It's like a drug addiction, but instead of substances, we're addicted to feelings. And just like any addiction, it takes a toll on our physical and mental health. I've seen this destroy relationships too. People become so focused on their own happiness that they neglect the deeper connections that actually sustain you. They'll leave marriages because they're not happy enough, quit jobs because work doesn't spark joy, abandon friendships that require effort. But here's the thing. The people in blue zones, the regions where people live longest, don't operate this way at all. In Okinawa, Japan, one of the most famous blue zones, happiness isn't even a cultural priority. They don't have vision boards about feeling good or morning affirmations about positive thinking. Instead, they focus on something completely different, and they're living to 100 at rates that make our happiness-obsessed culture look pathetic. The research backs this up. Studies tracking thousands of people over decades show that those who prioritize happiness as their main life goal report higher levels of anxiety, depression, and loneliness. They also have shorter lifespans and more health problems. Meanwhile, people who focus on other values, even when they experience difficult emotions, live longer and report greater life satisfaction. Overall, modern wellness culture has created this toxic positivity, where negative emotions are seen as failures. We're told to think positive, practice gratitude, and manifest our best life. But centenarians don't avoid sadness, anger, or frustration. They experience the full range of human emotions without making happiness their religion. The most damaging part, this happiness obsession makes us incredibly self-focused. We become so concerned with how we feel that we lose sight of what actually matters. We optimize our lives for short-term pleasure instead of long-term meaning. We choose comfort over contribution, instant gratification over lasting impact. So if the world's longest-lived people aren't chasing happiness, what are they doing instead? What's their actual secret to not just living longer, but living better? The answer is going to challenge everything you think you know about well-being. The answer lies in something the Okinawans call ikigai. It's not a feel-good concept or a happiness hack. It's your reason for being, your sense of purpose that gets you up every morning. And here's what's incredible. People with a strong sense of purpose live an average of 7 years longer than those without one. This isn't just correlation. The research is overwhelming. A study following over 7,000 adults for 9 years found that those with the highest sense of purpose had a 15% lower risk of death from all causes. Their brains aged slower, their immune system stayed stronger, and they recovered faster from illness and injury. But here's the key difference. Purpose isn't about feeling good. It's about doing good. It's about contributing something meaningful, even when it's difficult, even when it doesn't make you happy in the moment. I met a 98-year-old man in Sardinia, another blue zone, who still tends his garden every day. He doesn't garden because it makes him happy. Some days his arthritis flares up, and it hurts like hell. He does it because his family depends on those vegetables, because the land has been in his family for generations, because it's his role in the community. That's purpose. The difference between hedonic and eudaimonic well-being explains everything. Hedonic well-being is about pleasure and positive emotions, what we typically call happiness. Eudaimonic well-being is about meaning and purpose, about living according to your deeper values, even when it's challenging. Research shows that people high in eudaimonic well-being have lower levels of inflammatory markers, stronger immune function, and better cardiovascular health. Their bodies literally function better because their minds are focused on something bigger than their own comfort. Purpose creates resilience in ways that happiness never could. When centenarians face loss, illness, or hardship, they don't fall apart because their sense of meaning doesn't depend on feeling good. They have something to live for that transcends their current circumstances. The neurological benefits are fascinating too. Brain scans show that people with strong purpose have thicker prefrontal cortexes, the area responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation. They also show less age-related decline in memory and cognitive function. Purpose literally keeps your brain younger. But here's what most people miss. Purpose doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. The centenarians I've studied aren't all Nobel Prize winners or humanitarian heroes. They're teachers who care about their students, parents who prioritize their families, craftspeople who take pride in their work, volunteers who serve their communities. What they share is this: they've moved beyond themselves. Their daily actions serve something larger than their own happiness or comfort. They wake up knowing they have a role to play, a contribution to make, a responsibility to fulfill. This is why retirement often kills people. It's not the lack of work that's deadly. It's the loss of purpose. When someone's entire identity was their job and suddenly that's gone, they lose their reason for being. The healthiest retirees are those who find new ways to contribute, new sources of meaning. Finding your purpose isn't about soul-searching or meditation retreats. It's about answering 3 simple questions that reveal your ikigai. First, what are you good at? Not what you're passionate about, but what you actually have skill in. Second, what does the world need? What problems can you help solve? Third, what can you be paid for or supported in? This isn't about money. It's about sustainability. Your purpose sits at the intersection of these 3 areas. It's not about following your bliss or doing what makes you happy. It's about leveraging your abilities to meet real needs in a way that's sustainable long-term. The biggest mistake people make is looking for some grand, life-changing calling. Purpose is built through small, daily actions that serve others. It's the nurse who stays late to comfort a patient, the teacher who tutors struggling students after school, the neighbor who checks on elderly residents. Start with contribution, not satisfaction. Ask yourself, how can I be useful today? Who can I help? What small problem can I solve? Purpose emerges from service, not from self-reflection. The research is clear. People who volunteer regularly live longer than those who don't, even when controlling for other health factors. But it's not just any volunteering. It has to be meaningful to you, aligned with your values and skills. Here's your action plan. This week, identify one way you can use your existing skills to help someone else. Don't wait for inspiration or passion. Just pick something useful and start doing it. Purpose isn't discovered. It's developed through action. Remember, centenarians don't wake up asking, how can I be happy today? They wake up asking, what needs to be done? That shift in focus from internal feelings to external contribution is what adds decades to life. Stop chasing happiness and start living with purpose. The longest-lived people focus on contribution, not satisfaction. Your one action step. Identify how you can serve others today using your existing skills. Subscribe for more longevity secrets that actually work.